The issue with Caleb right now is that he struggles with Algebra 1 and wants to play calculus all the time. And there's foundational things that he has to be a part of. He's got to play on time, and the ball has to go to the right spot in the right timing more often than it does right now. He's constantly looking for plays that aren't there. He won't take things that are there right away, what the defense is trying to give him. You have to play on time and on target. And so for me, it's a floor issue. He's not doing the prerequisites, the floor of what he needs to do at quarterback, and he constantly wants to go up to the top of his talent. And you can't go there and impact the game unless you've done these things first.
You're screwed. Thank you.
Whoa, strong words made by Joel Klatt. So far, it's justified. Caleb Williams has continued to look bad for the Bears this season. When it rains, it pours. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Joel Klatt criticizing Caleb Williams for struggling with the basics. Caleb Williams has continued to make mistakes in the Ben Johnson system throughout the first 2 games of the season. In fact, the Bears are now 0-2 with little hope of becoming playoff contenders in the NFC. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Will Caleb Williams continue to have struggles in the Ben Johnson system? I believe so. This is not a quick fix for Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are not a natural fit for each other. Ben Johnson likes his quarterbacks to play on time and play within structure. Caleb Williams is not that at all. Caleb Williams loves to hold on to the football for a long time and try to make explosive plays downfield, which, by the way, he is very poor at. Caleb Williams also doesn't want to play within structure. He believes he should be playing outside of structure, and Ben Johnson absolutely hates that. Ben Johnson wants a quarterback that can execute his offense, his plays, his system on time like a point guard, and Caleb Williams doesn't really believe in playing that style of football. I say that because Caleb Williams continues to hold on to the football for too long. He continues making slow decisions within the pocket. He's still taking a lot of bad sacks and a lot of bad hits, and he is still making mistakes in and out of the pocket, which means the Ben Johnson system is not being executed to its fullest. Ben Johnson is all about getting the ball out to playmakers in space, and Caleb Williams has failed to do so. Outside of Odunze, no other Bears player has really been thriving in the Ben Johnson system. Colston, Loveland, a rookie tight end they drafted in the first round, has virtually been non-existent in the Ben Johnson offense. A lot of people didn't expect that, and although I believe Colston Loveland will still be a pretty good football player, part of the reason why he has been zoned out of the Bears offense is because Caleb Williams has the inability to get him the football. When your quarterback doesn't have the ability to play on time and get the football to his tight end, that's going to ruin a lot of what Ben Johnson is trying to coach on offense. You also look at how DJ Moore has fallen off a cliff, and I feel so bad for what DJ Moore is going through, because I know DJ Moore is absolutely seething at the thought of Caleb Williams being his quarterback. I know that he loved Justin Fields a lot on the Chicago Bears, and that he wanted a quarterback that he could have more in common with. He and Caleb Williams don't really bond with each other like that. Therefore, Caleb Williams has not really gotten him involved in the passing game whatsoever. They're paying DJ Moore all that money to run cardio. It's really frustrating to see DJ Moore struggle as much as he has. I think the struggles are going to continue, though. Caleb Williams is going to continue playing football his way because he's a hard head. He's a head case, and the Chicago Bears are going to pay dearly for Caleb Williams being a hard head. When you talk about quarterback IQ, you want your quarterbacks to be flexible and smart. Caleb Williams is not that. Caleb Williams is someone who wants to do things his way on his terms all the time. When you have a quarterback like that, there is no coach that can fix that issue. I also want to show you guys this clip of Ben Johnson calling out the Chicago Bears for having horrible practice habits. He talked about how Bears players have yet to reflect what a championship caliber roster looks like. It was a very short statement Ben Johnson made, but it was a very sharp one, to say the least. I actually found it so intriguing that Ben Johnson said this that I decided to play this clip for y'all twice. Roll the film.
I think our practice habits are yet to reflect the championship caliber team.
Say that again?
I think our practice habits are yet to reflect the championship caliber team.
I hate it here!
Yeah, that sounds exactly like how Ben Johnson is feeling about the Chicago Bears right now. I know Ben Johnson is absolutely livid at the thought of having to coach up Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears. Part of me also wonders, why did Ben Johnson take that job for the Chicago Bears in the first place? It just never seemed like a natural fit for Ben Johnson in the first place. But part of the reason why Ben Johnson probably did it was because he probably lacked self-confidence in the sense that he was going to get a good head coaching offer anytime soon. It also helps that the Chicago Bears are paying Ben Johnson a lot of money at the head coach position. I know Ben Johnson has been a head coaching candidate for a couple of years prior to the Chicago Bears job. The Carolina Panthers had offered Ben Johnson a head coaching gig not once but twice, but he turned them down both times because he didn't want to be failed by David Tepper, which, you know what, that's a valid reason. I wouldn't want to be failed by David Tepper either. If you're a head coach for the Carolina Panthers, you virtually got no shot of achieving any success whatsoever as long as David Tepper is in charge. But then you also look at how he turned down the Commanders' job last offseason, and that's where he messed things up. Ben Johnson had a chance to come to the Washington Commanders in January of 2024, but he passes up on that job because he believes that he can build a team around Sam Howell instead of drafting a quarterback with the second overall pick. And although I am a big fan of Sam Howell and I'm hoping that he can turn around his NFL career, that's not exactly the best investment you want to make at the quarterback position, particularly when there were quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels and Drake May still available on the board. So obviously the Commanders, they said, you know what, we're not going to hire you, Ben Johnson. We're going to go in a different direction. Ben Johnson says, fine, I'm going to stay as an offensive coordinator for another year. That's how he ended up being the Chicago Bears head coach in the first place. Joel Klatt is also talking about how Caleb Williams is not a natural fit in the Ben Johnson system because of different ideology. I like the analogy Joel Klatt made in terms of algebra and calculus. Caleb Williams wants to play football like he's Aaron Rodgers, but he hasn't mastered the fundamentals in order to play football at a high level. Caleb Williams is a guy who has relied on his talent his entire life to get to where he's at the NFL level, and as a result of that, that's why Caleb Williams has been struggling a lot, because once you get to the NFL, everybody is talented. It's a matter of how smart you are and how fundamentally sound you are at the professional level, and Caleb Williams has failed massively at that. I also believe this will continue to be an issue moving forward because Ben Johnson is not exactly the most open-minded coach out there. Ben Johnson is a closed-minded man who believes things should be done his way, and I know for a fact Caleb Williams is a closed-minded individual. When you got two closed-minded individuals going at it in the film room, the results are not going to end pretty. I expect the Chicago Bears to have another horrible season. I think they're going to finish the season with a 5-12 record. Best case, they go 7-10. Either way, though, they're going to be in last place in that NFC North division. They're not going to be better than the Packers. They're not going to be better than the Lions. They aren't going to be better than the Vikings. The Chicago Bears will continue being the joke of the NFC North division. Caleb Williams is going to continue making mistakes in the Ben Johnson system, and I predict Ben Johnson will absolutely get sick of Caleb Williams by the end of the season, that he might even bench Caleb Williams in favor for Tyson Bagent. I don't think Caleb Williams has a long leash in Chicago at all. Ben Johnson wants to move on from Caleb Williams sooner rather than later. I can't really blame him. I told you guys that Caleb Williams was going to be a bust at the time of the NFL draft. Everything Caleb Williams has done so far has pretty much validated my thought process. Ben Johnson seems like he's headed towards the same direction as well. We'll see what happens though. So that is why Caleb Williams will continue to have struggles in the Ben Johnson system, as Caleb Williams will end up being a massive underachiever in his NFL career. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm going to shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.